Hi, all you lovely kings, queens, and in-betweens, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Elaine, and today I'm joined by Jeremy.
Hi.
Today, we're going to be talking about Doomlings Overlush, which is one of the expansions for the Doomlings base game. Unlike your typical expansion, this isn't static. Each game is different. You get a bunch of different cards in a TCG-like style and get to play with the jungle theme expansion.
Yeah, you get to crack some packs.
We get to crack some packs.
Yeah, so you get that nice dopamine rush of opening up packs, and there's different rarities and things like that. So it's a twist on the static card game formula that we're typically used to.
What do you think of this jungle-themed expansion?
I think it's fun. I like the cards that we've gotten out of it are pretty cool. I guess my only complaint is that the legendary ones that you can get are like hollows, and they're meant to be collectible, not meant to be played with, because they're kind of like obvious because they're kind of bent and of like a harder card stock. But I like the cards that we've gotten out of it. They're interesting. They have interesting effects. And I like the fact that, you know, you could pick up a copy of Overlush and get different cards every time.
I do also like that aspect that every single game is going to be different. You're never going to get two versions of Overlush that are exactly the same. At the same time, there's that part of me that wants the complete game, if you will, and is a little sad that I don't ever get to experience different cards unless I buy more packs. And that's how they get you.
Yeah, I mean, that's any TCG, but I would imagine that if you get enough of them, they're not going to be as rare as some like Magic cards when you're pulling them, because there's not as many of them. I don't remember exactly how many are in it. 170 plus traits and ages to discover. So there's 170 in the set. And I mean, we got a decent amount of different ones. We got some doubles, but not a lot.
No, especially when you compare it to your average TCG cracking packs. You get so many more doubles in that on average. In terms of gameplay, this doesn't change anything from the base game. It just adds more cards. So if you're looking for a game or an expansion to a game that adds some new rule or some new mechanics, this isn't it. Although I do like the fact that it adds a lot of new cards, and I also think it was an interesting and good choice for an early expansion. And I say that because I feel like when you are first introduced to a game, it can be a little bit harder to get into the swing of things. And this gives you a chance to keep experiencing the game as it was originally designed and keep getting used to it, but also add in something that makes each game feel a little different so it doesn't grow stale.
Yeah, some of the cards have more complex effects than ones that were in the base game. There's a little bit more added complexity as we've seen more traits introduced into the game, but that's going to happen because there's only so many basic kind of effects that you can have before you start getting a little more complicated ones, which is nice because I think the more complicated traits are the ones that lead to, you know, whether it's engine building or more complex strategy. So you can kind of add that aspect in where cards play off of each other a little bit more. I think that's a good way of doing it. It also is a smart business model because it makes people get more than one Overlush. If it was just Overlush comes with these set cards, nobody would ever buy more than one of them, really, unless they needed another copy for their friend or whatever. Like we buy double copies of a lot of games just so we can each have one. But a lot of times if one of us has the game, we don't have to buy the other one because we're just playing it together most of the time anyway. So it's kind of a smart decision for them as a business model to put out something where you have to crack packs because people just love cracking packs. Some people just crack packs and then just give away the cards. People in my Magic friend group do that all the time. They just want to open the pack, see what they get, and then just like, here, you can have them.
I do think it's a great way to not only continue to grow the game in an organic way and get people used to it, but something that allows for engine building more than before and to be built on more than before so the game can continue to get more complex. I think it's also an interesting way to try and bridge the gap between what I feel are two often separate types of players. I feel like a lot of people like card games and or board games, and then there's another group of people who like TCGs, and I don't often see them liking both. And I feel like this is a great way to bridge the gap between those two groups of people. It's a card game. and it has a TCG-like aspect now, which it did not before. And a lot of other games that are designed as your average tabletop game cannot say that. And I think that's very interesting and a good way to try and bring people that might not normally play together, or people that have slightly different interests together, which could be very important for, let's say, a family maybe where a few members really like TCGs and the other family members don't, like them as much. This is a great way to try and get everybody to play something together and enjoy different aspects of it.
And it's unique. So, and that's always a good thing, is we're always looking for uniqueness in games, because a lot of games have a lot of crossover or similar mechanics, or they're basically just the same game, just reskinned. That happens constantly in board games and card games. And this being a unique thing where it kind of actually takes the TCG aspect and moves it into what would typically be a static card game, I think that's a smart move. And like you said, bridging that gap is always a good thing, because we're similar to each other, TCG players and card game players and board game players. But, not everybody is all three or even, two of those categories. I tend to be TCG players, board game and card game, but I got into TCGs very late. I got into board games and card games a lot earlier. So they were kind of my gateway into doing more TCG stuff. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I did the opposite. I sandwiched. I started in TCGs, got into the board games and the card games, and then I got back into the TCGs. Little sandwich right there.
I mean, if you technically consider it, I did play Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day, but I didn't really play the games. I just collected the cards. So
I don't think I played the game properly, but that's okay. We're definitely playing this one properly. And I think overall, it's a nice expansion. It's a great way to keep building on a strong base game, making sure things don't feel stale, making it easier to build engines and just stay fun. And it's fast, it's affordable, it's something that's shelf and table friendly, and that you can probably just throw into your Doomlings box. So you don't even have to make extra space for this little guy.
Absolutely. Go pick it up. And let us know if you've tried it already, or let us know if you plan on picking it up. And like the video if you like this kind of content, reviewing expansions and giving our thoughts, things like that. And subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this content going forward. And ring that bell so you know what's up. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Hi, Tisha Valenza, aka Poison Ivy, and you've just been watching King's Entertainment Reviews. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.